Come on. Let's go live. I'm ready. There we go. Ooh, it's a cold one out there today, folks. It's snowing here in Brooklyn. And we got a late morning, early afternoon night talk for you today. Thank you. Come on in, grab a seat here. As most of America here from the Midwest to the East Coast is in a virtual snow globe, we've got some inspiration and some education for you to warm up with a cup of coffee, cocoa, as you see fit. So join us here. We've got a wonderful conversation today. We'll be chatting with landscape and astrophotographer, artist, writer, filmmaker, Angel Fux. I'm your host, Gabriel Biederman from National Parks at Night. So come on in, grab a seat, and we'll get things started. But first, before we do, type in where you are tuning in from, where in the universe you're tuning in from, and what's the weather like? Is it snowing? Is it raining? Or do you have? Are you out in Europe and have the night skies already? And while you do that, I'm going to give you the quick PSA that the Olympics of night photography are happening this year. That Night Photo Summit is the must-attend winter virtual conference on all things night photography, back for its 6th year. We'll be streaming February 13th to the 15th, 3 days of inspiration, education, and networking that feature 40 presenters, 45 hours of content, and access to all sessions for 1 year after it. So yes, you can enjoy it during that weekend, but you can rewatch and see all of the classes for up to 1 year after. You can learn more and purchase your ticket at nightphotosummit.com. If you prefer learning in person, testing telescopes, star parties, and photographing under Bortle 1 to 3 skies, then go for the gold this winter and join us at the Nightscaper Photo Conference May 14th through the 17th in the Four Corners region of New Mexico. You can learn more about that at nightscaper.com. All right, let's see. Okay. Jeff, chilly in Houston. Yes, I've seen all over, right? It's happening. In Georgia is having its annual ice storm. Dallas, Sherry, good to see you. Sue, 23, a nice balmy 23 in Idaho. Good to see Novaflex. Novaflex, are you joining us from Germany? What's going on out there? Justin, I know you're up in Maine, buddy. So again, folks, welcome. And let's see. Our special guest today on Night Talk is Angel Fux, who specializes in composite photography and nightscapes. Angel focuses on capturing the beauty of remote locations and the unique atmosphere of the night sky. So let's give a warm welcome to Angel.
Hello.
All right.
Good morning.
How are you? Is it morning? Where are you? Where are you?
It's morning for you. It's evening, end of afternoon here in Europe.
All right. And clear skies. What's our temperature look? No,
you're foggy and cloudy today. And I think it's going to be the same for the next 7 days.
Boo.
Yeah,
boo. But you're getting out of there, right?
Yes, I am. Tomorrow morning. Yes.
All right. Excellent. Where are you off to? What's the next? What's happening next for you?
I am leaving tomorrow for Norway. We'll be spending some time a bit further south from Trondheim to hopefully get some northern lights. And focus mostly on the glaciers and the mountains close to a national park. A bit further south from Trondheim.
Nice. That sounds beautiful. Wishing you the best. Wishing you some auroras. They've been on fire.
I know.
As of lately. So hopefully you can get one of these amazing storms.
Yes.
That's been happening. How long are you going to be gone for? Yeah, is it a week?
Just a week. A week.
All right. So
yes.
You never know, right? You never know.
For now, the weather seems favorable, but you don't know about the northern lights. That's the part that you cannot anticipate. So.
Excellent. All right. Excellent. Excellent. All right, folks. Reminder, feel free to drop in any questions you might have for Angel in the chat. I've got a ton of questions that I want to ask her, but we want to get to your questions as well. So drop them in the chat. And also we got Donna, is a mix of snowy stuff in Arlington, Virginia. And just came back from taking pictures, right? I know we got it's a very inspirational to be outside in the snow globe right now, but make sure you go out with the right gear and obviously be listening to the local forecasts and everything for it. But getting that fresh snow is always amazing to photograph here. And we've got an expert here on winter night photography here. So
expert,
we're gonna
I don't know, but
well, you find yourself often in it. So
yes.
I don't know what you're doing in the summertime.
I hike to colder places.
Colder places, exactly. So, Angel, let's start from the beginning. What first fascinated you with photographing the stars?
I think at the very early stage, I've always assumed that astrophotography, like the beautiful Milky Way images and deep sky objects, was something that you could only see from telescopes or like with immense gear. And realize little by little that you can actually get something pretty decent, if not really exciting, with like normal cameras. And there was something super exciting in the pursuit of capturing things that you don't see with the naked eye. So it's got more and more exciting the more that I could see with the camera and how I could improve technically and get, through astro modification, tracking, and different techniques. So to improve your night images, to witness how much more you can get and how much of the night sky you can get as well. So that pursuit of finding things that are not visible to the naked eye, I think, is what had me most excited about.
I agree with you 100%. Right. And I love in a world where we see so much, right, and so many people photograph, to find the things that can't be seen often with the naked eye, is amazing. I know star trails don't get as much love as the Milky Way, but that's to me what fascinates. I love star trails so much because that's not even something we ever see or can fathom and stuff. But I feel where star trails are being made, I feel the Earth rotating.
That's a good one. I agree. Starfree is something I haven't mentioned, but it's true that it's a way with a camera you get to play with things that are really not visible, whether it's even with a single shot. But trails are part of the fun things you can do to experiment with a camera.
Yes, playing with time, right?
Yeah,
just
essentially.
never gets old.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your creative journey as not only a photographer, but you've made a film, you're an artist, and I love your writing. Actually, you always are adding beautiful words to your images and to your videos. So share a little bit about how, I guess, which came first and how they intertwine and that whole journey.
I can do it in buckets. Starting with photography. Photography started at the age of 10, so that is now 17 years ago, with my dad gifting me a small camera for my 10th birthday. He is a hobbyist photographer doing a lot of wildlife, landscape, and so on. And I was already having fun or wanting to get to his cameras from a very early age. And so I got for my 10th birthday a small Coolpix from Nikon to play with. And so this is where it started. Since then, I've been able to do a lot of things when it comes to photography. I did a lot with wildlife, macro, so flowers, food photography, which I loved, a bit of architecture, portraits, commercial. So I managed to get through a lot of fields to figure out which one was the most exciting to me, ending here in landscape and night photography, generally speaking. So that has been with me for the past 17 years now. When it comes to the writing part, I am the daughter of I'm in the third generation of a family of authors and writers. Wow. My dad has written books already. My grandfather is actually a world famous Swedish author. And my uncle as well. So there has always been a lot of writing, and
Nice.
since I can remember, I would, put things in diaries. I would write poetry, stories. In school, I was also quite known for that medium. And filmmaking or videography made its way through my life when I was in high school, because I was studying, in high school in Switzerland, you have something that is called your bachelor sort of thesis. And mine, I had picked it up on quantum physics. And so instead of doing a full dossier like you write a thesis, the goal was to create a video explaining under 12 minutes, in my case, correlation, quantum correlation or quantum intrication. And so this was the first time I had to figure out how to make a camera work from photography to videography. And then all of them sort of blended well into telling stories, whether it is with still images or with the help of film to convey a message. So they are now very intricate and playing together, but they picked up at different stages in my life.
When you look at a project, are you initially, okay, this is photo, this is video, and do you, obviously doing video, you're going to take some stills, and then now, or we always thinking behind each photograph, I'm going to share that video story, whether it's BTS or that story behind?
Today, it switches between the writing or the photography that comes first. The film usually comes always last because it's a way of translating the writing or the explanation of the image. So film is really the last part, but then I have images where I used to write poetry or text that would give me ideas of certain images that could fit the text. And then ended up coming up with the image 2 years after. But it's now, I would say, it mostly starts with the image, and then it's the entire experience and all the scouting and the anticipation that goes into the final story that comes at the end of the edit.
Nice. Now, you are also, a huge advocate for creative freedom and transparency, in your work in this age that where it's not always a lot of transparency. Tell us a bit about your guidelines for creating your composites in your photographs.
Yes, a word on transparency and honesty. We see more and more, I mean, maybe on a daily basis on socials, if it's not AI, that there is some form of image manipulation. And I find it's counterproductive to not be honest about it when asked, because there is so much to be proud of, depending on the kind of work you do. But there is so much work getting into the type of images that me and other photographers in the field do when it comes, to the astro part, the techniques behind it, getting to those locations, editing them in a way that makes the image stand out. And translate what you had in mind. So there is really something to be proud of, and I would encourage people to be honest about it, because the moment that people realize that you've been lying to them as well is when trust is going to go sideways. So then you can compose or create composites the way you do. I have certain rules for myself, but I like to encourage people to do first what they like and what makes sense to them, what feels meaningful. So people might decide to get into composites because they want to achieve a certain aesthetic for an image, or because it helps them put in an emphasis on a certain composition or subject that is highlighted in the image. But those rules is something that you have to set for yourself, because they help me, in my case, to balance the difficulty of what you have out there in the field that you have no control of, but also with the creative side of how much you want to stretch it to reach something that you have in mind. And finding that balance is usually my way to maximize the sense of fulfillment when an image comes to an end. And so two main rules that I will do my very best to stick to and they can be stretched a little bit if to me that is something that I can sort of justify. But it's to take the image within the certain area or region, if not at the exact same place.
Mm-hmm.
And second, to take it within the shortest time frame possible. So most of the time that happens for me to be from a sunset to a sunrise and everything that is in between. And if I manage to get everything within that time span of 10 to 12 hours, that's like the most optimal composite rules that I've said to me that has been applied. But people have different rules, as long as it works for them and as long as they are honest about it, and they do it for a reason that's it's just meaningful to them. I think it doesn't really matter how you do it. So yeah,
it's interesting. I think photography from the beginning was about secrets as well as about more sharing in the last 10 to 15 years. But photography in the early days, I don't share my locations. I don't share my techniques. I just do what I need to do, and you like me or you don't. We've seen that drastically change to much more sharing, but with the sharing comes responsibility, right? Sharing locations that then could be trampled upon, as well as just sharing the process. And I think photography in any art form, painting, writing, it's about process.
Yes.
And I think that's almost as interesting as the work itself, right? And I think that people want to understand. Everyone has their own process. You're right. Everyone has to find and understand their process, but then stick to it. Hopefully, we have in the audience, we've got Dr. Brown, who we're doing a night talk with tomorrow, who's doing AI compositing.
Yes.
Is gonna say hi, right? And you both are using compositing a lot, but in totally different ways, right? You're getting the assets, like you said, in a within that same region, within that sort of similar time frame.
Yeah.
Dr. Brown he's using AI prompts and assets and stuff like that. We'll find out more about him, tomorrow night. But he's been working with Adobe for many, many years. So, and he's pushing that technology further than I think it's ever been before. But I think the most important thing, folks, to our audience is to you can still choose to share or not. If you don't want to share the beautiful image that you created, and whether it's composited or not, just state that it's art, right? Just state that it's an art piece. Because I think, at least in the night sphere, so many of us try to think, we're inspired now. We want to find where that is, or go and try to. We are inspired by you, so we want to emulate. We often, so many people emulate first before they find their paths. So. When it's not, some of it can be not based in reality, then those people are going to be searching for a long,
and nowadays it's also so much easier to find things. You have AI tools and search engines that now you just input an image and there is not really any secrets left to find a place. So you might as well. It's a decision not to disclose a place to protect it, or to emphasize on how much you want people to be aware of that. But it's hard now to hide anything.
Yeah, it is. But the more you share, I think, is, again, validifying your art, your process, right?
Yeah,
it can inspire people to find an honest path as well.
Yes.
That can hopefully inspire others too. So,
hopefully,
yes. Let's hope so. Right?
Yes.
We need more honesty and transparency in this world. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
You also have a wonderful website. I love, obviously, your Instagram page and everything, but and websites I think are hardly visited these days. But when I was researching you and everything, I had a joy. It's very interactive, a very, very beautiful website, and you offer actually photo guides, right? Photo guides. You have presets.
I have one.
Okay, all right.
For now, it's been something from some years ago, but yes.
I think it's a brilliant idea, right? We're always looking for that. So, and workshops, but then prints. You put there's a heavy emphasis on the prints there. So share with us a little bit about, because when I was looking at your prints, you have a very unique process. They look beautiful. Obviously, your work is wonderful, Share us a little bit about your printing process and what people can expect
Yep.
when ordering one of your images.
Yes, with pleasure. First of all, printing is a topic that can be a standalone thing because
Yes.
it is so complicated and so many things go into it. So anyone wanting to get into prints quickly realize that there are so many things that you need to understand from the theory perspective, but also like what are all the things that make up for a good print. And then there is obviously also the more marketing or sales part, your sales strategy. If you want to have something that has open editions, is it serialized? Is it based on dimensions? Is it based on the type of paper that you use or the support? So it is a complicated topic. And I've received print inquiries ever since I started doing mostly nightscapes. And so it's something that I had to figure out for the past years on how to work that out. But today, most inquiries in my case come through emails or websites. Usually people know already what they want, at least in terms of the image and the dimension. And when an image is done, finally edited, and I'm happy with it, it's the final result, I know that it could go through printing, and I would be happy with, like, if you look into all the pixels, that there is no mismatch or anything that I would like to correct. So once I've reached that state, I will usually already decide how many editions are going to come out and for which kind of sizes. So I have certain that are open editions that are among the portfolio, and I have more special images that are either special to me or because they have had a certain recognition that go through that process of understanding how are we gonna serialize and number them. So once that is set, usually that information I keep and is the one that I share whenever someone is trying to inquire for a specific image that falls under those categories. They get all the information, and depending on the size, they will get also like extras. Prints always come out numbers unless they're specified to be open editions, and signed. All of them are always hand signed. And when it comes, we go into the realm of more master print. So really big prints that are already mounted on a support. And that usually is on the long edge, minimum 1.60 meters. That comes with, I have an example here, a sample box that I'm currently working on for a client. It comes with a certificate of authenticity that is printed on a metal plate that goes into that box. If I can manage to open that, it looks like this. So you have a space dedicated to it. And I love small objects and details. Yeah. I come from a background when it comes to university from luxury hotel management. And so details in objects is something that I really appreciate. And I like spending time on. And I want people to have a fuller experience that goes beyond getting their print of another object that they can showcase, because it's an honor to have your images in someone's space. Yes. And be on a wall and be a centerpiece of maybe a living room or a kitchen or an office. And so having an extra object to showcase, oh, look, I also have that, and it's linked to the print that you see here. There is the full story that goes with the image that goes, there are different layers under where people get the full story. And I spend a lot of time doing, wax sealing as well. I went to pick certain types of waxes in Italy. And I have certain paints that go on top of that wax that has that deep blue glitter gradients that is worked manually on top of it. And then a lot of embossing. And I like all that stuff. Yeah. So it's something that goes really with like more the master print
yes.
thing.
That's beautiful. I love the ritual and of this. And yes, that you're right. I think printing or prints are, it's hard now, right? Because I think everyone is a photographer. Everyone should be printing their own work as well. So you're battling for space, in someone's house. So that is right. It is an honor. I always find an honor to be in, to have my work, make it into someone else's space is amazing.
Yeah.
That's a great way to celebrate and to give them something that makes it even more special. Are you working with a lab or
Yes.
okay? And are
Yes, I have two. I have one in Europe for everything Europe and worldwide, and for US and Canada, I have a printer since last year that uses exactly the same technologies and machines. Especially, there is a Swiss machine that is used now that is a bit the standard for certain types of printing,
okay,
and he uses exactly the same as the labs that I'm working with here in Europe, and so that ensures that I have exactly the same quality coming out from for both continents. So
nice.
yeah.
And are you printing on archival paper? Or are you printing on other different like metal and acrylic, or is it people can choose?
Usually I make the decision myself
Yep.
because I have been testing prints and I have already samples and I know what I want my images to look like on
Hmm.
certain supports. And so if it's a print only edition, I pick different types of paper depending on the image. If it's an image that has more a glowy taste to it because there is something about the sky or maybe there is
Hmm.
ice that is shining, I'm going to go with certain types of paper that can reflect this.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I like also working with more texturized matte types of paper. And that's only for prints only versions. For the fully mounted, they go under acrylic glass on a
Hmm.
metal plate, and that is another type of paper that you get to choose because then you have to really seal it on the glass.
So very archival, right? Very good
Yes,
investment.
yes,
Uh,
yes, yes, yes. Yes. I mean, it's like gallery standard printing. So yeah.
and how are your print sales? Are you finding them is going well? Like you said, a
Yes.
lot of people are you said were liking
Yeah,
the night.
I get inquiries on a weekly basis. Usually, it's the same
Nice.
images that come up every time
Okay.
that people are interested in, and it's anyway, I think, a good investment in terms of you already have the image. It's a good way to have another source of revenue. I know a lot of people have a hard time sort of diversifying when it comes to photography because there is obviously the photography part of taking the image, but the
Hmm.
business side is such another thing that's not many like to get into, but it's also super important if you want to be viable as a photographer, as an artist, whatever it is the field you're working in. But prints can be a good way because it's not passive income, but it's deferred income. You've already
Yeah.
done the work, and
Yeah.
once you've figured out which kind of support you want to print it on, then it's just rolling it out.
Nice. And I would assume you work with people custom sizes and for
Yes.
to fit their house and everything. Perfect.
Yes, for certain types of images. There are certain images that are set in dimensions because
Sure.
it's serialized. But for other images, yes, we do also custom versions.
All right. Well, let's move beyond the still image and celebrating that, right? With the print, the final celebration of that always should be a print or a book to celebrate that your work. Let's move to the moving image. And you
Yep.
recently had partnered with Nikon Europe on a film titled "The Shot Above." Tell us a little bit about how this came to be and the group effort, because as we know, filmmaking is always it's not a solo sport. It takes it takes a big team that went into creating that. For those of you who are tuning in, I will drop that link so that you can watch it. It's a wonderful, beautiful 15-minute film.
Thank you. Yes, that was a probably the most demanding project or film project to date. It did require a lot of energy for me, a lot of time. It was done over the span of a year and a half, almost 2 years. And it did require a lot of group help. For those who have seen it, you know that a lot of scenes look like it's just me on the camera doing epic stuff. But at the end of it, it also showcased how many people were involved in creating that. And that is something that really needs to be mentioned. The goal of the film was to explain a story of me wanting to go back to the Andes in Peru to get an image that I didn't get the first time that I went there. I had obviously witnessed beautiful landscapes, had amazing images, and was super happy about it. But there was that one place that we passed that was just a day hike. And it looked phenomenal. It looked really, really impressive beyond most of the landscapes that I've ever been able to see so far. And it aligned perfectly with the Milky Way arching over it. And so I started getting really excited about it. It was not logistically and possible to do that in a safe way because it's a tricky place to hike to. You have to be there at night, and people have already slipped and fell down that cliff. There have been accidents in the past. And so that was not possible for me to do that. I got home in Switzerland and hoped that that little obsession of mine would fade away. It did not. And as I was on the phone with a friend and a good contact I have within the Nikon Europe team, he asked me out of curiosity how the trip went. And then I told him, there was that one place that I really wanted to get the shot of, but I didn't. And then I asked him, I was like, is it something that Nikon is interested in doing? Like, would you be willing to collaborate and do something about it? He was like, yeah, send over a proposal and we'll look through it. Couple months forward, and it got accepted. They were very excited about it. And so then what was supposed to be just me getting an image was me getting an image and do a full film about it. And so it's one thing to take the photo, but then you have to figure out who is going to be filming you while you take the photo, because you cannot do everything. It's not possible. And so I had convinced my best friend and university roommate to come with me to Peru. And she had absolutely no idea what she was getting into at the time. And she had never held a film camera in her life. So we had to go through a crash course on how to handle a camera so that she could help me while I was in front of it. I was also helped greatly by Prince, who is a filmmaker. So that helped as well. Who was in Peru with me that second year. And then I had also my favorite filmmaker and friend here in Switzerland who helped with the interview part. I had another friend who was with me into the mountains before going to Peru to already shoot some scenes for the introduction part. And then I had a sound designer that was helping me, not with the sound design, but with the mixing and mastering. Color grading and all the editing was done by me, but then it was also obviously all the logistics and the people on site in Peru, with helping with porters, helping with mountain guides, and everything related to logistics. And so it was a lot of people. You can see all of them mentioned at the end, and also some of them in the footage. But it was a big project, and it took a lot out of me. I did not realize it would be so exhausting.
Yes, and you'll have to watch it to see if she got the shot. We're not going to say it.
Also, fun fact, something that is not mentioned in the film is that most of the scenes where you see me at the location to get the shot, I had 2 windows, 2 nights in a row where I could get it. And the first time was really the window that we had hoped for, but it was not possible. So the weather completely blocked all the mountains. And so I had to have organized and agreed upon to go again the night after, this time without the film crew. So most of that actually getting the shot was just me putting my film camera and just me standing in front of it, actually capturing the shot. But we didn't get it on the first night. So it was quite stressful not to know if it was going to happen.
Yeah. It's a very well done production. So
Thank you.
With experienced and new, they all came together, and really I highly recommend it. Again, I dropped it in the chat. When this is wrapped up, we'll also drop it in the permanent post here so that you can watch it. Highly recommend it. It's and stream it on the big screen. It's worthy of more than 16 inches on your laptop, folks. Stream it to open up YouTube and watch it on your television at home. So we've got a comment. T Child's photography is Angel. Your website is amazing. So and just commenting how beautiful your work is. And we've got Prince also joining us. He's another night photo speaker, Night Photo Summit speaker.
Hello, Prince.
We've got a few people here that will be joining us at the summit. And speaking of which, we are again absolutely thrilled to have you join us for the first time at Night Photo Summit. Your talk is called "The Creative Journey of Winter Nightscapes."
Yep.
What can people expect to learn in your session?
Mostly the goal is to take people to the behind the scenes of what it takes and means to create night images in winter specifically, because winter really shifts your decision making. What you had maybe
Mhm.
anticipated and prepared and planned to do is not working because either you are freezing. I mean, I know it's a problem that I encounter a lot. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people who is always cold when out there, and so that doesn't really fit what I do. But it does alter how you decide and shoot and what you prioritize in the end. So the goal is to talk a little bit about this, but more than doing a technical breakdown, I would like also to show how I approach night photography more as a form of storytelling rather than simple documentation. The work that I do is mostly in relation to compositing, even if I do also a lot of real like location alignment.
Mhm.
But I enjoy going to the creative freedom and intention realm of why are you doing this that way and not just keeping it exactly as it is. And that plays a big role in my images. So the goal is really to give people an honest look at the process behind that kind of winter nightscape specifically, and hopefully something useful or inspiring that people can take into their own work.
Excellent. Right. Don't be afraid to go out in the winter.
Nope. I mean, be prepared. Be
Be
prepared.
prepared. Be prepared.
But
So
if you
on
are,
that, right, exactly. I don't know prepared right now looking at the snow
yeah.
outside, but cuddling up. Can you share, without giving away the class, can you share 2 key tips for you finding success in these extreme weather conditions?
Yes. Number one would be preparation. And
Mhm.
not for the photography part, because the photography part, if you feel comfortable with your gear enough, that's going to come a bit more naturally. But when it comes to really just making yourself safe, is going to be your top priority. And I have made mistakes myself. I'm still cold today. I was cold in the past, but I'm less cold now than I was. So really getting ready for that type of environments is going to be your top priority to keep you safe and to make sure that your experience doesn't turn into a nightmare. So that would be number one.
Yep.
Number two is, oh wait, I had a good one for this one. Number one is you make sure that you're ready with all the gear and specifically for you being safe. And then number two is I would highly recommend anyone wanting to go into nightscapes in winter to already get comfortable doing camping and hiking in the more nicer and more comfortable
Yes.
seasons. So do that summer already and go high enough to see a little bit how cold can feel, because even if it's like 30 degrees Celsius down in the valley, it can be 0 or even negative temperatures if you go above 3,000 meters, even in the summer. And then try to extend that window to the in between seasons of spring and fall, to see and feel a little bit of how winter could look like, because the weather is a bit more unstable. It's going to be obviously colder. You still have snow in certain areas. So before getting fully into winter, make sure that you have already understood how it
Yeah.
is in like less hardcore conditions.
Yes. Agreed. Any like clothing gear that has been game changing to help keeping you warm out there?
Yes. Sleeping bag. I just actually upgraded to a sleeping bag that is like madness, but I'm always
Okay.
cold, so I
Yeah.
just went for it. Sleeping bag is a big thing. Making sure that you keep also anything under you not wet. So make sure
Yeah.
that your isolation to the ground is going to protect you from humidity, because otherwise any sleeping bag getting wet is going to be also a nightmare.
Yep.
And so for me, it's mostly that to keep the entire body warm, and anything for the feet. My feet are always cold, even at home. And so the feet is just destroying your entire experience if you feel that you're losing them.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah. The toes have
shoes, yeah,
frozen and fallen off. Are
yeah.
you using heated socks
I
now?
am. I
Okay.
am. They have been very helpful, but I
Yeah.
try to avoid using them as much as possible, because you're not supposed to
Okay.
use external heat for your body.
Okay.
Because then it can also make your feet get wet. If you run out of battery, it's going to be even worse. So
Okay.
I have them in case it's like really last minute resort. But I put layers on, and in case I have to turn them on because it really becomes unbearable, then I will turn them on. But I would avoid as much as possible
Okay.
to rely solely on that.
Lots of wool. Wool.
Yes,
And
yes. Exactly. And
all
lots of
right.
layers.
Lots of layers.
Yeah.
And all right. Okay. Excellent. All right. So let's get to the fun part here. I'm not that
Yep.
it's all been fun so much to get to know you, but let's look at some images, right? All right.
Yep.
Everyone ready to look at some images again, folks? If you have any questions again about anything winter, or anything that you've been listening to for Angel, let's drop those in the questions. I think you guys are going to get a lot of questions once you see her work because it is outstanding. So let's start here with this one. And let's add this. There we go. Come on. There we go. All right. What's going on here?
So this image was taken last year, actually. That was February of 2025. It's an area that is known to have glaciers disappearing. And so for the past 5 years, I've been going back to glacier caves down the Matterhorn. So the mountain that you see in the back is the Matterhorn, from another angle, not so famous. And every year I have to get closer to the foot of it because all the previous caves have disappeared. And so that specific night, I was bringing 2 friends now, but at the time, clients, because they were doing a documentary for a German TV. And so they had to film anything ice, glaciers, and having the Matterhorn with it was a bit of a bonus, but a must go. And so we went there with them and with another photographer friend who mostly focuses on ice caves and glaciers. Maybe some of you might know him. His name is Glacianaut on Instagram.
Wow.
So we went, the 4 of us. And as I was trying to shoot, we had the base camp a bit higher up and then went down to that arch. And we played a little bit around. And it was a team effort also to get that image, because then I know how to stand and how to use my headlamp to light up the parts that I know are going to look interesting in the image. But that was our night up there. And I left my camera there and I left it running, but I had also them making sure that it was running and went down in the arch to capture that image. And it was a night where the moon was rising some hours after, really making like a moon glow. Usually you have the alpenglow with the sun before sunrise or after sunset. And now we had that same effect with the moon rising. So that was also a very, very exciting night for that.
So quick takes. Obviously, I've never seen a shot of the Matterhorn like this. I think the Matterhorn is obviously is a top shot in Switzerland. And we have sort of so many of that sort of iconic angles. This is such a unique layered angle with the ice caves and the moon and everything. Is that, you're saying that was you in that shot, or that's
yes?
Whoa! It looks like that is like miles away.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing with wide angles.
Exactly.
It looked like miles away. I mean, it was still maybe 1 to 2 minutes to get there because you had to get all the way down to the like little crevasse and then into the tunnel. But it isn't that far.
Nice. And then great processing on the moon as well. It's kind of almost looks like there's an eclipse happening, but you've really gotten a lot of the detail out of the dark side of the moon, as well as maintaining that and that alpenglow, as you mentioned there. We got a comment from T. Childs is asking, how many shots did it take to put together this image?
This one is 1, 2, 3. With the one of those 3 that is a stack of 2. So 4 images total. Okay. The landscape is a stack of 2, but exactly the same. So the mountain was exactly a line like this compared to the ice cave that could have been a single shot. And then 1 shot of the sky and 1 shot of the moon after it had risen. It had risen. I had to wait for the moon. I mean, I had to take the star part before the moon would rise so that I could get more of those stars. So that makes up for 3 images.
Awesome. And then Jeff is asking, your camera was set to bulb and you used the lights to illuminate the cave areas?
The camera was set to interval time shooting. mode. So you just let it run. Every 2 seconds, it takes another shot. Exposure time was not at bulb. It was, in this case, maybe around 4 seconds. I try not to go above that because otherwise it's hard for me to just stand still for more than 4 seconds. And then the cave was lit. The inside of the cave above me is lit with a key light that we used for the filmmaking team. They had a lot of lights with them just for the filming. And so we decided that we had enough to use them also for a fun photography activity. And then anything that is in front of me and my jacket is lit up directly by my headlamp.
Nice. And did you have to remove the team here, or they're just out of sight?
No. They are just out of sight.
Nice. Beautiful. Again, beautifully layered, quite a unique shot. And are these the question I have on the ice cave? You say they're disappearing. Are those ice caves there year round, or are they just coming in the winter? Or
they are year round because they do not melt and reappear. But it's still highly not recommended to get into ice caves in the summertime because they get super unstable. So you don't know how long they're going to be there until they break. And in winter, it depends how much it snows. For us this year, it's been a very, very poor layers of snow so far, on average. And so, but when it snows a lot, they can just get completely inaccessible because they are buried.
Yes, right. Exactly. Another comment from T. Childs is saying that you make me feel better about taking a shot just for the moon. I thought it was
yay. I mean, you have to. It's such a different exposure anyway, because it's so bright that you have to. Or if you don't take a separate shot in that direction, at least you have to bracket.
Yes. Yep. All right. Let's look at the next shot. Ready? Here we go.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, and boom. Whoa.
Yeah.
Let's go. We got some aurora. We got some Milky Way. We've got a campsite. Where are we? Take us through this image.
So we are in Switzerland again, in the Alps, 2,600 meters high. And that was a shot that was taken with some months apart. So until last Monday, the best aurora display we had in Switzerland was May 10th of 2024. That was a pretty major event all over the world. And so I was able to go to the mountains well in advance to get the sky part. And when looking to go to that specific place, it was inaccessible and way too dangerous because of the avalanches. So the terrain was really impracticable for me, for my level, and it was anyway not recommended to go in those terrains. And so I focused close enough to that area on the sky part because it was facing northward. And here the northern light is placed northward. So this would have been like the sky as it would have been on May 10th. And so since the pass where you have to leave the car to start the hike and go to the summit opened when snow had practically melted, I waited until October to go back there on the first snows so that I could still capture the landscape part as it would have looked like, or close enough to when it was in May. So the aurora was taken in May. The landscape was taken in October. Actually, one day after we witnessed again Northern Lights in Europe, but it was super cloudy the night before. So close enough, I could have gotten everything in the same night, but weather did not play in favor. And so the camp you see is just me putting my tent there. I wanted to go all the way to the summit. I was probably 10 minutes away from it, but it got really sketchy and I was on my own. So I felt that maybe it was safer to just leave it there. It was a very windy night. And I also had the visit of a wolf. So that was all fun. They don't do anything, but I saw the following morning after sunrise, all the tracks around my tent and then back on the way down.
Okay, nice. I love the bowl sense, right? This is a wonderful, and this is a panorama, or is this a single shot? Okay. I just love that foreground bowl, a little darker, right? Leading us, our eyes into here. The colors are blending so beautifully with this, and amazing. But I look at this and I'm like, the first thing besides any of the beauty and technical, I'm like, how did you get here? Right.
My
So,
foot.
so how long is that? Talk to us about a little bit about like how do you get to these places? What you're usually having to hike for, it seems to me, days, hours, I don't know.
That one was not that long. In summer, it's maybe a 2 hours and a half
Okay.
hike. In this case, it probably took me 3.5 hours because of the snow and because of not seeing exactly where the trail was. And it's
Yeah.
really a steep ridge. So you
Yeah.
have to make sure that you're on the right path. And then it had a little bit of scrambling at some parts. And so you're not exactly sure if you're in the official path. So that one took, yeah, probably 3 hours and a half, and crampons, snowshoes that I didn't use because the terrain was still not snowy enough to cover for all the rocks. So they would have been actually more complicated with snowshoes, but crampons for sure.
And you hiked during the day, got there, and then
Yes.
waited for the night, right?
Yeah, exactly. Always. I really, especially in winter, I will not hike at night if I don't see the landscape to get to a place.
And are you using some sort of just safety communications? Are you using like the Garmin and stuff like that to be in communication? Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Very
I have
important.
a Garmin InReach Mini 2 for the SOS part. And I also, in winter, I have an avalanche device that is always on send mode, so that if there is a problem and a team has to come, they can still spot my signal.
Excellent.
Under the snow. If anything, I mean, if you're under an avalanche, it's highly unlikely that you're going to make it. But if there is a slight chance, that's going to help.
Excellent. Wow. Thank you for this one. Let's continue these wonderful winter landscapes by looking at this one. Whoa. Wow.
That's one of the most recent ones.
Yeah. Everything is happening.
Yeah. That is my first attempt ever at the Geminids. I hadn't really been into meteor or comets until end of last year. And so I felt that I really wanted to try it out. And so that was hiking in the snow again, this time taking my dad with me, who is currently lighting up the tent in the image.
Good job, Dad.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, "Yeah, I want to come with you. I want to see, that I want to see all the beauty of the night sky, and I'm gonna be next to you when you shoot." He did not get out of the tent for probably 12 or 14 hours, but at least he lit up the tent.
All right.
And so yeah, I had two cameras at night, shooting into different directions so that I could maximize the amount of meteors, and took also a Milky Way panorama. So that was supposed to be a tracked one. Unfortunately, my tracker did not work. So I had to stack single frames of every panel. And so that's one of the things that sometimes doesn't work well as you expected it to work. But yeah, that was taken in the Alps, again, in Switzerland, at the border of Italy.
And this is just this year. Is this year's Gemini?
December. Yeah. December.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So a month ago.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a long time. It was 5 hours probably of shooting the meteors, probably an hour and a half for the Milky Way arch. And then the landscape was taken at nautical hour. I used to do a lot of blue hour for the landscape, and now I mostly focus on nautical hour.
Okay. Yeah. I think that the colors just
a
little bit easier.
Softer. Yes. Softer, and it has a little softer glow on the mountains as well, especially when there is snow and it can be quite harsh.
And this, folks, this is the northern end of the Milky Way, right? This is it's how beautiful that winter Milky Way is looking here, right? It's so beautiful. Are you using? Let's talk about. You have a lot of detail. You got a lot of nebula going on there. You're using a astro modified camera there? Yes. What's your technique on that?
Astro modified camera for usually everything night sky is taken with the astro modified camera. This time for the since I did not have to shoot the landscape at that same time, I used the normal stock camera for the meteors for a good part of the night when I was doing the panorama. And when I was done with the panorama, I had both cameras shooting in different directions. But everything that is night sky related is going to be taken with the astro modified camera.
And are you staying the same focal length, or were you using multiple
Yeah.
focal lengths? Yeah, on here. Okay.
I'm always ranging between 14 to 24. I have a 14 to 24 2.8, and then everything that is taken with the Astro modified camera usually is at 20,
Mhm.
1.8, and so I remain within that range.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Castor, Pollux, the Geminids and Jupiter,
Yes.
you really got the radiant nailed, there, folks. Those are the two dots, right? And the big planet there, everything's emulating from there. And just, I love the wraparound, of some of these, the meteors that you see. They're really kind of perfectly kind of going around the Milky
Yeah.
Way. So very, very circular, again, snow globy, kind of feel to it. Beautiful, beautiful, and layered. Again, you are all about the layers. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Both for the clothes and for the photos.
Exactly. Let's forget those. Exactly. All right, let's look at the last shot we've got. We're coming up on the hour here, but let's look at this one. One could say we saved the best for last. It's a quite unique shot, folks. So take a look at this, and again, draw. Right. Oh, wait. Before I just want to. Marie Glynn is saying, still picking up my jaw up from the floor for this image. This is stunning. Also, T. Childs. This is an incredible Steve Milberg. Wow, on this image. Yeah, this is one of the best meteor shots I've ever seen. So good job. I mean, this is your first crack at the Geminids, right?
Yeah.
Which plays into your wheelhouse because that's a winter meteor shower.
Yeah.
Right. So
exactly.
That's it. And
exactly.
I was with Matt at Monument Valley. It was a show, folks. If you can get prepared and be warm for, the Perseids, that's nice. That's a nice meteor shower. But the Geminids are epic. Yeah. Epic. It's like 3 to 4 times more, meteors. It's like, and to the naked eye.
Yeah. I couldn't believe how many of them you see. And every time I felt the need to move the camera, I was like, but I see one in the other direction. And then I moved and I was like, but no, it's happening in the other direction.
We were like, I could be an expressive person. I was like, we had we had a group and we're all partying. Whenever we saw one, we'd give a little whoop or a holler. So it was so fun. Yes. Twilight blue photography. I love the layers as well. So, all right, let's take a look at this last image here. Is this 2 images? Is this a single? What this is amazing. The colors.
It's a panorama.
It's a panorama.
It's actually the same that is in my background.
This is your backyard?
It's
literally.
My backyard. No, it's my background. It's hung on the wall. But yeah, this is a panorama. It's almost a 360. That's probably 280, 300 degrees panorama. Okay. And so the two cave entries that you see here is one the exit and one the place we entered. So it's really like all there is. And then behind me was the wall. And so that's a special image for me because I went to that place. So what you see on the right is the Matterhorn again. I see
another unique take on the Matterhorn. I've got to say, I've never seen it framed from inside a cave.
But so it's the Matterhorn from one of those caves further away from it. So it's another angle again from the first one that you saw. And so I went there in 2022 first. And I had the worst nights and winter experience of my life. It was probably my first winter camping, and it went horribly wrong. I still managed to get some shots, but it was 160 kilometers per hour winds for a 14-hour night. Impossible to be rescued because no helicopter can reach you. All the nearby cable cars were also obviously closed. So spend the night there, and the wind picked up so strongly the entire night and then the following morning that rocks were flying, ice was flying. I got cuts on the face, and so I felt scared that this was my first winter experience, but did not want it to define if I was gonna stop it there. And so 1 year after, we went back with a friend filmmaker who helped also with the film The Shot Above to create a short film around that ice cave. And the goal was for me to take another image and go back out there so that I could sort of like bury the hammer
Yes.
And and
Not
not
have that bad memory.
exactly.
At the
Yeah, yeah.
forefront.
And so I was not expecting to get much out of it because the conditions of the cave were much more exciting the year prior in terms of eye structure and framing and composition.
Mhm.
But I was still creating as my friend was filming and getting some scenes. And this is what came out. So we had a mountain guide this time. We were dropped with a helicopter because we had so much film gear that would
Mhm.
have been
Yeah.
impossible to get there on time. And so we had two filmmakers and me taking the shot. And what you see here on the right is the tent that I had taken that was pitched outside for the image, but we did not sleep there. We skied down by night back to Zermatt. The night sky was taken just outside the cave and the moon as well, as it was setting
Okay.
behind the Matterhorn. And on the left, the little halo that you can see is a mistake, basically, because the goal was to light up the cave with a headlamp, and the long
Mhm.
exposure made that circular shape. So as
Cool.
it
It
was
works.
lighting up, yeah, it worked.
It works. It's
So that was
beautiful.
a nice surprise, and
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Are you using headlamps as your light painting
Yes, I
for
mean
most of
that
your
was
work?
not the
Yeah.
goal to do that. Yeah, yeah, but yes,
Yeah.
otherwise it
Yeah.
was the headlamp.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful image, really put together. And this was shot with like again that 1424 we're
Yeah.
talking, and then
Yes.
we're 20 images or something going across to
Probably. I don't remember. It's quite some years now since this one was taken, but it's probably the usual for that type of panorama for me is 8 frames on 2 rows.
okay,
Um,
2 rows. Yep.
yeah, so 16 images maybe for the landscape, and then outside the sky and the moon. So that would be around 20 images.
And just I gotta ask, how long did it take you to put together and post? Is this like, I feel like sometimes it's almost as long, the effort you put into taking a picture can take just as long to
Yeah.
put it together.
But for me, it's the part that I find the most joy in. It's really the editing.
It's a post. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the
As a
post. I
composite, yeah.
really, really love that part. And before I went into composites and daring to go into that realm, because my father is more like the traditional photographer, so I did not want you to feel like, oh, she's doing something that is random.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so I went into this, but I was already editing my images quite strongly away from how it looked like straight out of camera. And because I had fun and I wanted the editing part to take longer
Mhm.
because it was where I would get the most fulfillment out of it. This image, I do not remember. Probably it would fall under the 8 to 12 hours. But
Whoa.
today would take me much, much less time
Okay.
because I've built also a workflow that I know better, that I feel more comfortable. I know also the colors, how I want them to come out. So usually an image will take me maybe 4 to 10 hours on average. Rarely I will go beyond the mark of 12 to 15. I've had 1 or 2 images going up to 20 hours, but that was for ridiculous reasons. So
Yeah, yeah.
I would
Well,
not advise anyone going to that extreme. I believe that if you become better at editing because you get used to it, there's no real good reason to go to take that long, especially because tools on Photoshop make your workflow go so much faster in
mhm,
selecting objects and so on, which was not
yep.
the case when I started. So yeah,
It's
that's my
definitely
take on
gotten
it.
easier. Are you using PT GUI
For
for your
stitching, yes.
pianos? Yeah,
Now,
for piano.
yes, but not
Yeah.
at the time of that image. That image was probably just stitched in Lightroom.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I
Uh,
discovered Kiwi.
yes, yes. It's which is its own thing, but it makes it easier in the end.
Yeah.
Twilight Blue Photography is asking: is the moon a single shot? Is the moon a
Yes, it
single
is.
shot, and is that part of that whole
It's
window?
yeah, it's a single shot. The moon is I usually take the moon separately just because
Mhm.
then I can work it more easily than if it's already in the frame. And I like to have that clear delimitation between the moon, the dark side of the moon, and the background. And so yes, it was taken separately, just outside the cave, in the same direction as the night sky.
Excellent. Sue Wilson, hello, Sue, and Jeff are commenting there. We'll look forward to watching your class at Night Photo Summit. They've really been beautiful to share your work.
Nice.
And yes, we're really looking forward to having you there. So a lot of those images were from Switzerland, from the Alps.
Yeah.
Any other favorite places you've been? Let's go outside of Switzerland. You own it. You own it in the Alps. I'm gonna put the flag down there.
Well, that's a nice country to own.
Yeah.
Yes, there are places that I really have in my heart, and one of the locations, a specific location, is the San Antonio Pass from Peru in the Andes. This is one of the last places that you visit when you do the Huayhuash circuit trek.
Mm-hmm.
It's a place I've been twice, and I don't know what it is there. I tend to get very excited in nature in general when there is something beautiful, whether it is the sky, the landscape, the conditions. I am someone who is very vocal about it and very excited. But this one really felt different. The landscape was, of course, magnificent, but there was something that made it very emotional for me on both occasions. And I was not the only one. I would witness the people also getting there or sharing past experiences, not when I was there, but like also going to that pass, mentioning how it was impossible not to shed a tear or to really feel emotional in that exact location. So that is one of the only places where it was so strong for me.
Nice. I have to, of course, ask, what's the next mountain that's on your list? Where haven't you been? That's like, I gotta go.
So the next one, like in the agenda, in the calendar that is already planned and the logistics is being finalized. I know it's going to sound that I'm completely obsessed with it, but is the Matterhorn again. But this time from a very different perspective, and from a very different altitude. So it's going to be in the realm of 4,000 meters high, which is quite rare to find or to be able to stand at that altitude in Switzerland. And so there is two things happening for the Matterhorn with these special viewpoints as of March. And then I also have a lot of scouting for other areas that are not in Switzerland, mostly in the Himalayas.
Is a good 2026 planned? Are you excited?
Yes.
Excellent.
I'm really excited. A lot of things still. And we also have the solar eclipse happening in August here in Spain and over Iceland. So that's also going to be a project. And
where are you going? Are you going to Spain? Are you going to Iceland?
Spain. Iceland it's a gamble I'm not willing to take with the weather.
It's too much of a gamble. It's too much of a gamble.
Not willing to do that.
Where in Spain? I'll be there.
Yeah, but Burgos. On one of the villages or towns where the totality happens.
Nice. Yeah. All right. We'll have to keep in touch.
Yeah,
I'll be out there as well. Yeah, we're doing a trip from Zaragoza and then coming up through the path, end up in Bilbao, and then cross along the northern coast. So,
yes. Highly recommend for the food.
Always, right? You can't go wrong. But this, I think, in Spain, where it's going to in Spain is like people don't go there, right? Because it's cutting right between, Madrid and Barcelona. Most people go to Madrid, Barcelona, then Bilbao, but it's the central area.
It's a point in the middle of that triangle.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite a unique part of Spain so I'm really looking forward. I've been there a few times, but to this region, it's not as much. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I hope we can, wishing us both super success for capturing the eclipse. And hopefully our paths will cross there as well. Speaking of paths crossing, folks, Angel will also be joining us later this week, Wednesday, January 28th. We are going to be hosting, you can sign up for it for free. And it is our pre-con session called How We Got the Shot. And we're going to have 5 photographers share 5 stories in this pre-summit free session. So this will be more information you can find at nightphotosummit.com. But if you're new to Night Photo Summit, this will give you a taste of exactly how the classes are hosted in Zoom. and you need access. You pay for your ticket. Tickets are $3.99. But again, remember, they get you live sessions during that weekend, but then you get all of the recorded sessions for up to a year. I know people that have watched sessions 10, 20, 30 times just to get the technique down. But it also, with over 45 sessions on a weekend, it's impossible to see them all, that time. So just make sure to join us there for the pre-cons. Also, we're on a roll here with Night Talk, and we have 2 more Night Talks this week. Monday at 8 p.m. we'll be chatting with AI and a chat about AI and the creative intent of AI with Dr. Brown. And then Tuesday at 8 p.m. we're going to talk with the beauty of our national lands with Jake Frank. Remember, if you miss any of these live versions or just jumped on now, all of these are wrapped and recorded. You can see them here on our Instagram channel, or if you prefer to stream it through your television, these are all going to be on our YouTube channel as well. So sometimes that's fun to just, we see it here in this on Instagram. We see it here on this portrait session. But if you want to see it, we've also recorded it and streamed it, and it'll be wrapped up and ready to go on our YouTube channel in the more traditional landscape one version as well. So a fun week of night photography, inspiration, and education. Remember, Angel, thank you so much for joining us. And remember to give her a follow if you're not already. Her handle is her name, Angel Fux, at Angel Fux. And also, if you haven't seen the website as well, take a look at it. And if you got space in your apartment, her images are pretty beautiful. So they look good. They look good in wonderful living rooms all across the world, right? So, Angel, thanks so much again for joining us. Really appreciate it. Wishing you the best on your continued winter journeys that are coming up. We really are looking forward to seeing more of your images. Maybe we'll see some not produced ones even at Night Photos.
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe. All right. And folks, again, thank you for joining us as well. And we will see you more on the live sessions, and hopefully see you at Night Photo Summit.
Bye. Take care.
Seize the night.